Bună ziua, ne aflăm în Ottawa, suntem în fața Parlamentului canadian, ne aflăm aici cu domnul David Kilgour, e un apărător al drepturilor omului pe plan internațional, am putea spune unul dintre cel mai importanți avocați pentru drepturile omului din jurul lumii. Suntem aici, îi adresăm câteva întrebări în engleză. Mr. David Kilgour, thank you so much for being here today and for your wonderful speech. Would you mind telling us why you are here today?
Partly because of a guilty conscience. When I was the Minister for Asia Pacific from 2002-2003, I did not do enough to raise the persecution of Falun Gong, both in China and outside of China. And when I stopped being the minister in 2003, my conscience really bothered me, and that's one of the reasons. And then when I was asked with David Matas to do the study on this persecution of Falun Gong and organ pillaging, then I discovered to my horror that in fact it was going on, and that, as our book says, and you've translated the book, or one of the books, something like 41,000 organs pillaged from people, Falun Gong practitioners, were done between 2001-2006. So 41,500 Falun Gong practitioners, just until 2006, have been killed for their organs. And their organs have been sold to people in China, people in Canada, and possibly people in Romania for huge prices, and it's unacceptable. And we can see from this huge demonstration today that the point is very close now when China is going to have to stop doing this. They're going to be completely disgraced by what continues to happen in their country on this matter.
Thank you so much. I know you've been doing a great work going around the world to talk to various parliaments, various members of parliaments about stepping up and speak about the freedom of belief and the human rights issue. Is there something which I believe is very dear to you? Is there something you would like to say for the members of parliaments around the world who didn't have yet a chance to step up and speak about that?
Yeah, do it. Stand up. I guess I've been in probably 50 countries now, and I've met parliamentarians in many of them. And I think members of parliament have a duty to stand up on this issue. It's probably the worst, or one of the worst, human rights abuses that's going on anywhere in the world now. Men and women who have done nothing, they believe in truth, compassion, and forbearance, are being sent to forced labor camps, are working 16 hours a day to make products for export to countries like Canada and Romania. And then, as I said in my speech, when somebody comes from Bucharest or from Ottawa and wants a new liver, the person is a person with matching blood type and is dragged into a lab, and they're killed, and their organs are flown to Shanghai, and the person who's paid perhaps $130,000 or $50,000 gets a new liver and flies back to Bucharest or to Ottawa, and an innocent human being has been killed. To think this is happening in the 21st century is a crime against humanity that must be stopped, and members of parliament in Bucharest or in Budapest or in Ottawa can help stop it. And I have a particular interest in Romania, as you know. I've been there several times. I've spoken to members of parliament in Bucharest, and I know that some of them are concerned, but it takes a few of them from any party. This isn't a partisan issue, that will stand up and will gather like-minded members of parliament together and do a petition or pass a law like we're hoping to do in Canada that makes it a crime to buy a trafficked organ. And that will send a message to China that the Parliament of Romania is not going to stand for this. After what the Romanian people have been through under Ceausescu, I would think it should be a pretty easy thing to get consensus from all the members of Parliament.
Thank you so much for saying that. As you mentioned, you've been to Romania several times, and we are hoping to see you again in Romania.
Ask me, I'd love to come. Romania is a particular interest of mine.
I might ask you to come and to invite your official to come to Romania. Any other words before finishing off the interview?
Yeah, actually, the European Parliament has been very good on this, as I mentioned in my speech, and the committee of the Social and Economic Affairs Committee has been good. Europe is moving on this. A lot of countries are moving on this, but how about Romania? After what the Romanians have been through for so many years. How about Romania showing a leadership position on this in Europe? Let's please do it for the sake of the Romanian people, for the sake of the people, the Falun Gong practitioners in China, for the sake of the world. Please stand up and pass a law that says that nobody in Romania can buy a trafficked organ from anywhere. You don't even have to mention China. Just say it's a crime to buy a trafficked organ anywhere. That's what Israel has done. That's what Canada, I hope, will do. And I think Australia is getting close to doing that too.
Thank you so very much for your kindness.